Look, most of you are completely missing the obvious facts right under your noses. Seriously, you walk through the grocery store, carefully picking out these premium bags of mixed greens, proudly handing over your hard-earned cash, and yet you're completely ignoring a free superfood that is probably growing just a few feet from your front door. It is honestly fascinating to me how we've been conditioned to pay a premium for what is essentially nutritionless, mass-produced foliage, while we actively go out of our way to destroy the biological powerhouses growing in our own yards. So let's dive into this explainer, because today we are breaking down the nutritional ninja of the plant world. It's called common chickweed, or as I like to call it, the ultimate lettuce killer.
Because on one side, we have the sad modern reality of grocery shopping. You are literally shelling out $6 for a bag of crunchy water. I mean, sure, that store-bought lettuce looks great on a sandwich, but nutritionally, it is a ghost. It's mostly water, it's heavily fertilized, and it gets shipped thousands of miles just to wilt in your crisper drawer. But on the other side, we have common chickweed, a completely free, intensely nutrient-dense backyard weed that thrives practically everywhere. And chickweed isn't just slightly better, it's practically a biological glitch. It completely puts those sad, watery store-bought salads to absolute shame. We're talking about a biological powerhouse that has literally been trying to feed us for free.
The real key here is the raw data, and I want to hit you with this right out of the gate. 7. That is the number you need to remember. This inconspicuous little weed that you probably stepped on this morning contains a staggering 7 times more iron than your standard head of grocery store lettuce. Just let that sink in for a second. You are out there buying expensive iron supplements and choking down spinach, while a plant with a 7 times multiplier is just sitting there in your lawn. It doesn't just act as a flimsy salad filler. Chickweed is a high-performance energy bank for your blood. It's a massive nutritional disparity, and you're missing out on it simply because no one slapped a barcode on it.
And the data barrage doesn't stop there. Chickweed provides twice the calcium and triple the magnesium and potassium of standard lettuce. It practically acts as a biological shield for your bones. Think about all the synthetic fertilizers and massive soil amendments required to force standard agricultural vegetables to absorb those kinds of minerals. Chickweed just does it effortlessly, without any care, farming, or human intervention whatsoever. It pulls these heavy-hitting minerals right out of the dirt and offers you a glowing fortified skeleton, all for the incredibly low price of absolutely nothing.
Now, right about now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, I'll just pick some in the spring. But here's where this plant truly defies logic. Most people assume that the foraging season, and really the availability of any fresh greens, ends with the first hard frost. But chickweed? It doesn't care about the cold. This plant survives and even thrives right in the dead of winter. Picture this. It's the middle of January, the snow is falling, you are shivering on your walk to the car, and right there in the frozen dirt is a patch of vibrant green chickweed. It acts as a biological first responder, providing fresh, vital nutrients in the absolute harshest months of the year, when almost every other plant is entirely dead.
So let's look at the survival aspect of this plant and how it builds into an incredible zero-waste food source. You know, with a lot of wild foraging, you have to be meticulously careful. You have to discard fuzzy stems, avoid certain toxic berries, or maybe only eat the young leaves. Not with chickweed. Chickweed operates on the total edible rule. Everything is on the menu. The leaves, the stems, those little white flowers, and even the fruits. You just harvest it and eat it. It is a completely zero-waste, unexpectedly high-protein wild meal that provides a massive power bank of essential vitamins A and C, as well as B-complex vitamins.
So how do you actually identify and find this tiny 10-centimeter nutritional ninja? Well, it's a master of staying hidden, precisely because it grows exactly where you'd least expect a superfood to live. It thrives in remarkably poor soil conditions. We are talking about road verges, abandoned fallow land, and literally the cracks in your concrete garden paths. Places where delicate, heavily bred agricultural crops completely fail and die without intensely managed soil, chickweed sets up camp and just flourishes. It takes the absolute worst real estate in your yard and miraculously turns it into a vitamin factory.
Okay, I know exactly what your next objection is. You're sitting there assuming, based on absolutely zero evidence by the way, that because it's a wild plant, it must taste like bitter dirt. Let's just dismiss that stubborn bias right now. Chickweed actually has a really mild, incredibly pleasant flavor. In fact, it is so fresh and delicious that it effortlessly passes what we can call the budgigar taste test. Even small, super picky pet birds like budgigars absolutely love the fresh taste of this plant and will gobble it up as a premium snack. Look, if a bird with a highly sensitive palate prefers this over standard feed, maybe it's time you reconsidered your bias against wild greens.
But wait, it isn't just a high-powered salad. Chickweed seamlessly transitions straight from your kitchen plate to your medicine cabinet. It is quite literally a dooryard pharmacy packed with incredible medical properties.
See, you have burns or minor abrasions. Crushing it up creates a poultice that acts as a natural skin bandage, providing immediate pain-relieving action. Suffer from skin rashes? It serves as a cooling anti-inflammatory that soothes the skin right on contact. And if you ingest it, it acts as a natural digestive aid, keeping your system running smoothly. It is constantly working double duty to heal you inside and out.
Which brings us to a very serious question, and I really want you to answer this honestly for yourself. Are you too scared to eat weeds? If you just found out that your yard is packed with a plant that has 7 times the iron of lettuce, double the calcium, physically heals your skin, and casually survives the winter, are you ready to go out and harvest this incredibly healthy plant today? Or are you going to let an irrational, culturally conditioned fear of the word weed hold you back from literally the best free nutrition on Earth?
I mean, it perfectly highlights the ridiculous irony of human behavior, doesn't it? We literally spend decades of our lives and hundreds of dollars buying chemical sprays to poison a biological powerhouse. We declare all-out war on a nutritional giant that grows effortlessly and heals us. And then, right after we've poisoned this free superfood, we hop in our cars, drive to the store, stand under fluorescent lights, and pay premium prices for useless, watery imitations that offer a fraction of the benefits. We are aggressively spraying poison on a glowing treasure chest.
Just think about the sheer absurdity of everything we've covered in this explainer. We took a resilient little plant that offers 7 times the iron of lettuce, double the vitamins, and acts as a natural medicine. A plant that has literally been sitting there trying to feed us for free, even in the dead of winter. And our brilliant response as a society has been to spend decades trying to eradicate it with poison just so we can make room for plain, useless grass. We are completely blind to the obvious facts right at our feet. So next time you walk out your front door, ask yourself, what other free miracles are you stepping on? Now, that's absolutely wild.